It's a situation that this government has created, quite frankly, because asylum seekers get to jump the queue. They get in front of all the other immigration streams, and this is an easy way for them to get in. Now, speaking about abandoned, how many self-abandon?
Canadians, let me ask you this. What if someone could enter the country, collect benefits, use public services, and live here for months without even passing a security check? What you're about to hear in this House of Commons debate is not a theory. It's happening right now. Members of Parliament are asking direct questions about wait times, security screenings, and how long people can stay in Canada before we even know who they really are. Why 6 to 8 months of waiting? Why benefits being paid? Why systems overloaded with asylum claims? And the big question is, who is paying the price for these delays? Is this about compassion, or is this about a system that can no longer keep up? Stay with me, because what comes next affects every Canadian, from housing to healthcare to safety.
I just want to wrap my head around this. Did you say 6 to 8 months to wait for CBSA screenings? And you can't do anything until you get information from CBSA on those 6 to 8 months?
First, I want to say CBSA is working very diligently at this, and I get that the number of cases that they have. So it's a fact.
6 to 8 months when the system can't move forward. This part of the debate reveals that asylum claims can be frozen for 6 to 8 months while waiting for CBSA security screenings, with no action possible until that step is complete. What Canadians are hearing here is a system stuck in pause mode. Members of Parliament are confirming that, for 6 to 8 months, nothing can move forward because CBSA clearance has not been received. That means claims are not approved, not rejected, and not resolved. They just sit there. For Canadians, this directly affects trust in the immigration system. Key points need to understand. 1. 6 to 8 month security. Screening delays stop all progress on claims. 2. Backlogs grow while cases remain undecided. 3. Public systems face pressure without clear timelines. 4. Canadians question whether the system can keep up with reality.
Now,
Okay.
what they're doing is a security screen, and that allows us to know that the person is the person they are. It allows us to make sure that we can proceed with a degree of certainty around identity and security issues.
So in those 6 to 8 months,
Yes.
we don't know if they're safe to be in the country because we're waiting for a security screening, right? In those 6 to 8 months, they're collecting all the benefits. That's correct? While they're here as asylum seekers?
Security not done, so what's happening right now? This part of the debate questions why asylum claimants can stay in Canada and receive benefits while security checks are still not finished. This is where many Canadians start to feel uncomfortable. Members of Parliament are confirming that, for 6 to 8 months, security screening is still pending, meaning the government does not yet have full confirmation about identity and safety. Yet during this same period, claimants are already living in Canada and receiving benefits as asylum seekers. For Canadians paying taxes, waiting for doctors, and struggling with housing costs, this raises a very real question. Why does access come before confirmation? Key points need to understand. 1. Security checks are still in progress for months. 2. Claimants remain in Canada during this time. 3. Benefits are provided before final clearance. 4. Canadians question fairness and system control.
They're asylum seekers, and they're entitled to whatever benefits are due
So
to
they're
to
collecting
them.
all of that. Then there's a process of 90 plus days before abandoning?
Unless the claim is actually ready to proceed.
Okay, and then there's the hearing process.
Yes.
So it could be, it sounds like it's almost a year that these folks can be in the country without a proper screening, collecting benefits, waiting, and we don't know if they're safe to be in the country. They're collecting benefits, and they're tied up in the system.
So who is really waiting? This part of the debate shows how delays can stack up, allowing asylum claimants to stay in Canada for close to a year before a final decision is made. What comes out in this exchange is a timeline that shocks many Canadians. Between security screening, waiting periods, and the hearing process, it can take almost a full year before a case is properly decided. During that time, people remain in the country, collecting benefits and using public services while their files move slowly through an overloaded system. For Canadians, this feels like a system that drags on without clear endpoints. While families wait for housing, doctor appointments, and affordable costs of living, the immigration system remains tied up with unresolved cases. Key points need to understand. 1. Multiple delays can push cases close to 1 year. 2. Claimants remain in Canada while waiting. 3. Public services face ongoing pressure. 4. Canadians question how long the system can hold.
I disagree with my colleague opposite on we're par with Germany. Germany is a country that has double the population we have, and they're in the heart of the European Union, surrounded by 28 other countries. This is Canada. So this 290,000 people, let's just call it 300,000. That's an exorbitant number of people, and it takes very, very long to process these. When do you anticipate catching up?
300,000 people. Can Canada keep up? This part of the debate questions whether Canada can handle the sheer number of asylum claims and how long it will take to process such a large backlog. In this moment, the comparison to Germany is pushed back hard, and for many Canadians, it makes sense. Canada is not surrounded by dozens of countries, and it does not have double the population. Yet the number being discussed, close to 300,000 claims, is massive for Canada's system. Processing that many people takes time, staff, and resources that the system clearly does not have right now. For Canadians, this translates into higher costs. Key points need to understand. 1. Nearly 300,000 claims put heavy pressure on the system. 2. Canada's capacity is not comparable to much larger countries. 3. Large backlogs mean slower decisions for everyone. 4. Canadians feel the effect through housing and services.
Well, we are able to do now 80,000 claims a year. We're aiming for more than that.
But every year you're getting more.
Well, it depends on how many we're going to get every year, and if the intake is actually reduced, we're able to catch up on the accumulated inventory.
It seems to me like an endless process. Like there's no end to this thing.
It's a difficult situation, and it's a new one, considering that it's the last 2 years
course.
that has accumulated that.
Because it's
80,000 claims a year, but will it ever end? This part of the debate shows how, even with 80,000 claims being processed annually, the backlog continues to grow, raising questions about whether the system can ever catch up. Members of Parliament point out that while the government can now process 80,000 claims a year, the number of new claims coming in often outpaces this capacity. This creates what many see as an endless cycle. New cases arrive, the system works hard, but backlogs remain. For Canadians, this translates into continued pressure on taxes, public services, and housing, all while people waiting for decisions remain in limbo. Key points need to understand. 1. 80,000 claims can be processed per year, but new intake keeps growing. 2. Backlogs persist despite annual processing. 3. Pressure on public services and taxpayers continues. 4. Canadians are left questioning if the system will ever catch up.
a situation that this government has created, quite frankly, because asylum seekers get to jump the queue. They get in front of all the other immigration streams, and this is an easy way for them to get in. Now, speaking about abandoned, how many self-abandoned?
Withdrawals,
1 minute.
4,000.
Sorry?
4,000 last year. I
4,000 in the whole. So those 4,000
Abandoned.
people came, took the benefits for the state.
believe. No, I don't know for how long they stayed. What I can tell you
Yeah.
is that last year, 4,000 abandoned their
Abandoned.
claim.
4,000 abandoned claims. Who pays for this? This part of the debate highlights that thousands of claimants abandon their claims, raising questions about resource wastage and impact on Canadians. Here, the discussion reveals that last year alone, 4,000 people withdrew their claims after receiving benefits. For Canadians, this is more than just a number. It represents public funds spent on people who may not stay in the country or complete the process. The system allows claimants to access services while their cases are pending, but when they abandon their claims, it leaves taxpayers paying the cost. This creates frustration and questions about accountability. Key points need to understand. 1. 4,000 claims were abandoned last year. 2. Public funds are used for people who do not complete the process. 3. System resources are tied up handling unfinished cases. 4. Canadians question accountability and system efficiency.
So you
They
made a
withdrew
point
their
earlier.
claim.
So if they do leave the country and they go back to their country and come back, I mean, shouldn't that be an automatic? There's no meeting to be had there.
Well-
They came here fleeing persecution. Why would they be immediately, the ruling
They're
should be
eligible
immediate? Should
when
it
they come
not?
back.
I'm sorry?
They're ineligible when they come back.
Immediate.
They leave and come back, what happens next? This part of the debate looks at what happens when people leave Canada and then try to return, raising questions about eligibility and system control. Members of Parliament ask about cases where claimants leave the country and then come back. According to the discussion, if they return after abandoning or leaving, they are ineligible to start the process again immediately. For Canadians, this reveals a loophole and the complexity of the system. It shows how the process is not straightforward and how delays, re-entries, and eligibility rules can create confusion. Key points need to understand. 1. Claimants who leave and return can be ineligible. 2. Complex rules create confusion in the system. 3. Taxpayers bear the cost of delays and loopholes. 4. Canadians question whether the system maintains fairness and control.
Immediately, that minute.
Then they're not with us.
So, okay, so then the CBSA gets the deportation order or the right to make that decision?
It belongs to them after that.
Wow. It's really, it's quite astonishing. And your average hearing takes how
Thank you,
long?
Mr. Menegakis.
sorry.
That's your 3.5 minutes. Thank you, Madame Brassard.
Who decides deportation and how fast? This part of the debate focuses on how deportation orders are handled and who has the final authority, raising questions about speed and accountability. The discussion reveals that once a decision is made that someone is no longer eligible, CBSA does not immediately have the authority to act. The final decision belongs to another part of the system. For Canadians, this can be astonishing because it means that even when the system knows someone should leave, action can be delayed. This slows down enforcement, leaves taxpayers paying for unnecessary extensions, and creates uncertainty about how quickly the system can respond. Key points need to understand. 1. CBSA does not have immediate authority after ineligibility is determined. 2. Delays in deportation create taxpayer costs. 3. System complexity leads to slow action and uncertainty. 4. Canadians question whether enforcement is efficient and fair. If you found this video eye-opening and want to stay updated on what's really happening in Canada's immigration system, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. By subscribing, you'll be the first to see our latest breakdowns, House of Commons debates, and inside stories that affect everyday Canadians. Don't miss out, join our community, and stay informed about the issues that matter to you.